There are plenty of games on Roblox that get thousands of players. We constantly see new games appear on the front page, games like +1 speed keyboard escape, kick a lucky block, or even sell lemons. But one of the new front page games is this game called Build a Ring Farm. This game hasn't been out for even 2 months, but already manages to get over 100,000 players, with over 100 million visits in total. And with the help of admin abuses, it even managed to peak at over 350,000 players. The game is basically on a hype wave right now, as it became popular very quickly. Just 3 weeks ago, you'd see the game with about 10,000 players. Now that is over 100,000 and potentially may get even higher. The game basically came out of nowhere and gained a lot of players. So why is it even popular in the first place? Well, obviously, I had to try it myself. So the game begins with a short and simple tutorial which goes over some of the things in the game. But basically, you roll for a random seed, then plant it on your ring farm and wait for money to come in. The money you got can be used to either upgrade your ring farm, starting with the saw and sprinkler, or you can buy better seeds. You have the ability to upgrade your luck and even the amount of seed rolls you roll at once. And obviously, you can expand your farm to add more rings to it. Sometimes you may even have events begin, like this one which happened when I was just trying the game out for the first time. I cannot tell what exactly I am looking at, but you had to shoot these green guys to get rewards which you get after defeating the boss. And yes, there are items in this game, but more on that later. Something that took me over 10 minutes to discover is that you can level up your plants, which can help a decent bit. The game is basically a combination of different trends on Roblox. The entire idea of growing plants is decently popular thanks to Grow a Garden, and that might actually get even more popular soon enough since Grow a Garden 2 is releasing in a few days, apparently. But as you probably noticed, the game has built-in RNG system too. And thanks to Slime RNG, the RNG system has been sort of revived, I guess you could say. Although Soul's RNG has always remained somewhat popular. But here, you just have to manually pull a lever and then buy the seeds you rolled instead of getting them for free. The plant upgrading system also reminds me of how you'd upgrade brain rot in games like Kick a Lucky Block or Escape Tsunami for brain rots. But it does really seem like combining different popular ideas from different games worked out for this game. When I came back to the game later, I discovered that there is actually offline earning, which is yet another thing many games been using lately. And they use it for a reason, because it gives some motivation to come back. In my case, it helped quite a bit to get more expensive plants easier, which then helped me to get even more money faster. But remember how I mentioned an event earlier? This game has more of them. Here, I got a combination of rain and whack a crop. You just go around and hit crops that show up from the ground while avoiding the bad ones. Next up, I got trucker event. You have a guy go to everyone's farm and then give some rewards depending on the grade. Then I had yet another unique event. This time it was Queen Bee event. You just collect honeycombs around the map, and every time you get 5, you get a honey token which gives a random reward. Basically, the game has an event every 15 minutes. And those events are usually more like mini-games. The normal events like rain or autumn that can start at any point are there just to give mutations. But this system with events every 15 minutes actually does help the game. It makes you want to stay for a bit longer because either an event is about to start or there is one ongoing. And just seeing the player count for this game really shows that this kind of system works. And it really does seem like this game wanted to follow Grow a Garden footsteps here and there, because besides plants, there are pets. There is a separate shop where you can see eggs being sold. Unlike in Grow a Garden, though, when you buy one, it instantly hatches into a random pet. My first try was decently lucky because I got a giant llama. All pets provide income boost, but also similar to Grow a Garden, all pets have their own boost. In my case, it's a sprinkler boost. And another thing similar to Grow a Garden is this gear shop, which time to time restocks with random stock. The game also has Event Pass, which may or not been also inspired by Grow a Garden, although I feel like at this point it's probably a stretch. But going back to the ring farm itself, eventually you unlock a new floor which has its own more expensive upgrades and more slots. Basically, as I said earlier, the game takes many popular ideas and combines them, and it works and helps the game to gain popularity. But now it actually seems like the game might be starting to lose its players. Last week it didn't go up. Instead, as you can see, the player graph went down a little, and once weekend was over, it went even further down on Monday. It did have a higher peak player count during admin abuse, but it seems people are starting to leave the game already now. Something you probably noticed is the monetization in this game. There is a whole 3 Robux products that give you a random reward, 2 seed packs, and 1 egg, which act almost like a loot box. And the way they made this looks super lazy. These 2 have same price for 1 but different for 10, and all 3 show the same 1,690 Robux on top of the 10 pack. And it seems like the pay-to-win problem might get even worse, because now do big studios co-own this game. And as expected, people weren't happy with this, since big studios are known for buying out games and then adding more Robux products to them. Something else I thought was interesting are farm skins, until I looked a bit closer. You can spend 50 quadrillions to get only 8% more money. And if you decide to spend 2,000 Robux, you can get a skin with a whole 10% increase in income. Not really sure what is the point of that. So the game is made under this studio called Game Creates, led by a guy called Publicus. And he did make games before, although it seems that most of them were trendy and brain-rot games. Build a Ring Farm is the most successful one he made. But the idea is not really unique. I discovered a browser game called Farm Ring Idle, which is pretty popular with nearly 40,000 ratings. And it seems like the idea was taken from here, and the game did come out much earlier than the Roblox one. And I mean, since the browser one was already popular, I think it sort of makes sense why making one on Roblox would also get you players, while combining it with some other mechanics from popular Roblox games. But despite all of the things that helped this game become popular that I mentioned earlier, it's not exactly done in the best way. The game sort of becomes less fun and more repetitive. The skins I mentioned earlier could have been something bigger, like a new stage for player, but instead they do basically nothing besides visuals. All you do is just try to get lucky for better seeds, play during some events, buy some gear, and try to get lucky with pets. The game definitely has potential, and I mean, if it didn't, it wouldn't have gotten so many players so quickly. Right now, it's just sort of repeating what most brain-rot games experience, where they become popular very quickly, and then shortly after begin to lose those same players. So even though this game has the right idea, I just don't think they are executing it right, at least right now. Anyway, make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. That helps the channel and I would appreciate that. You can watch one of these videos while waiting for a new one. They are good too. You can play our game or join my Discord server with links in description, and I will see you soon.